What's good, Internet? My name is Attack, and welcome to my WWE Money in the Bank 2016 predictions video. And here we have a Money in the Bank match happening in the ring. Immediately, Sami Zayn with the fucking chair, and Jericho with ladder, and this shit gets bonkers out of the gate. So, let me know who you think is going to win down in the comments, and I will get right down into my predictions. The pre-show, the kickoff show. We're going to have Apollo Cruz versus Sheamus. Why is this on the kickoff show? This is Apollo Cruz' first main event feud, is it not? I'm pretty sure it is. Before he was just kind of having random matches, and whatnot. But this is actual, he's feuding with Sheamus, and Sheamus is mad about the new era, and he's taking it out on Apollo Cruz. So, this obviously begs the question, do you have Apollo Cruz lose in his first main roster feud? A lot of people feel that they brought him up from NXT too early, but if you have him lose here, then kind of what was the point of bringing him up in the first place, outside of the, oh my god, he's on Raw type, shock value of that happening. So, I'd say Apollo Cruz gets the victory here, and man, can you imagine Sheamus was world champion like 3 months ago, and now he's going to be on the kickoff show, potentially losing to Apollo Cruz. That's kind of a big step down from being world champion. Obviously, we all kind of knew he was the transitional champion to get it on Roman Reigns. Anyway, there's 2 matches on this pre-show. There are 2 pre-show matches. The other pre-show match is the eternal pre-show match, and that is Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. This is the feud that never ends. It just goes on and on and on and on. And maybe this match ends this feud. I have my doubts, because, fucking, what else are they going to do with Dolph Ziggler? Seriously. It feels like we're in this giant holding pattern until the brand split next month. So that being said, I think they give it to Baron Corbin. But that being said, I really don't fucking care. These matches are kind of whatever. Anyway, on to the main show. And there are 6 matches here on the main show, although realistically I only care about 2 of them. So, next up we have a match with pretty much 0 consequences, and that is Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch in a women's tag team match. I almost said Divas there. A women's tag team match. And considering that there's no title on the line, the only story you have to tell here is whether or not Charlotte and Dana Brooke will truly get along in this match, or will the team of Natalya and Becky Lynch overcome the women's champion and her Arn Anderson. I think the bigger question in all this is, where the fuck is Sasha Banks? That's the question I ask at every single one of these damn predictions videos and Raw reactions. Seriously. We want Sasha. So, I'm going to put over the heels here in Charlotte and Dana Brooke. I think they'll kind of they'll swerve us into them not getting along and them not being a coherent tag team, and then the heels pull this victory off in some way. But again, the implications of this match in a larger scale is kind of who cares. Again, holding pattern until the brand split. So, next up we have Rusa Putra, Rusa Machka versus Titus O'Neil. And this one, I think, as much as I would like to say Rusev all the way, because I think Rusev is super talented. That was a dangerous spot. I think Rusev is super talented and really good at whatever they've given him. Even the garbage that they've given him the past year, he's been really good at. And granted, you do have Lana at ringside, but considering the suspension, considering the charity work, considering that this Sunday is Father's Day, I think there is a very, very strong possibility that they will give the U.S. title to Titus O'Neil. Now, perhaps only for a few weeks, perhaps only until the brand split, perhaps only until the next pay-per-view, but I think it is a very strong, that's a feel-good win for the evening for Titus. So, that is my out-of-the-box prediction. Certainly, in terms of guys I wanted to see hold that belt longer, would be Rusev. Although, honestly, I thought he'd lose it as soon as John Cena came back. And certainly that obviously was not the case. So, I'm calling Titus. Next prediction, next match on this card is one of... Okay, I'm sorry, there are 3 matches on this card that I actually want to see a lot. And 3 matches that should be the big 3 matches on the card. And one of them is your fatal 4-way tag team title match. That is the New Day versus the Club. Too sweet versus Enzo and Cass. Soft versus the Vaudevillains who don't really have a catchphrase. And yeah, what are you doing, Dean Ambrose? Holy shit. Are you high on drugs? So, fatal 4-way for the tag team titles could be potentially a show stealer if they give it enough time. Could be a hell of a match, but the question is, do they have the New Day lose the tag titles before the brand split? What happens to the New Day during the brand split? And also, they keep talking up how the New Day has had this very long title reign, and they're going to surpass London and Kendrick, and honestly, I think they'll give them that. They will give the New Day the chance to surpass London and Kendrick in terms of their length of their tag team title reign, considering that Kendrick's working like the Cruiserweight Classic, and London is just never coming back. Or something like that. I don't know. But they like to have guys hold these long records when they're on the current roster. Like, they liked having it with CM Punk being the longest reigning champion of the modern era. They liked having Nikki Bella beat AJ Lee's record once she left. So they like having these long records being on current superstars. So I think that I'll keep the tag belts on the New Day. And also, you've got Xavier Woods at ringside. So you've still got your advantage for the New Day. Even though they've got all the other teams there, you still have a New Day advantage here with 3 guys, as opposed to everyone else having 2 guys. So, New Day retains. Anyway, in what is... That's a dangerous spot, Dean Ambrose. Jesus. There goes the ladder. A dangerous fucking spot. The next match, for me, is the hardest match to call of the night, and that is this match. The Money in the Bank match, hence the name of the pay-per-view, and it is Cesaro, Owens, Ambrose, Del Rio, Zayn, and Jericho, and right off the bat, I don't think they're going to give it to Chris Jericho. As much as they said, hey, he invented it, but he never won one, I don't think he would want one. Because at that point, if he wins Money in the Bank, he's obligated to continue to stick around until the end of that storyline, which, you know, could or could not involve another title run. I think, there was a ladder. There are a couple of ways that this could go, and I think it entirely depends on what's going to happen in the brand split, and if the brand split means we're going to have 2 world titles. We don't fucking know yet, right? So, my original thought before they even announced the brand split was that, okay, whoever is the next Money in the Bank winner is going to cash in and fail. They haven't had that in a while, and I just don't see any of these 6 guys taking that belt off of the guy, Roman Reigns. I think that they want a lengthy, significant run for Reigns with that belt, and I think that he would either lose that belt to Cena or to Rollins, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen tonight, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, question is, who's going to win? Of these 6 men, with 2 of them being former world champions, who is going to win? And I think most money is on Dean Ambrose, but certainly Owens is a strong contender. So I think it is, as much as I would like Cesaro to win this, and as much as the long shot here is Sami Zayn, I don't think they're going to do Del Rio, and I don't think they're going to do Jericho, because you're supposed to have a face champion, right? So if you got a face champion, you want a heel to have the briefcase. Now, granted, most people would not agree that Roman Reigns is a face champion, but they're presenting him as a face champion. So, that being said, I'm going to go Owens. I'm going to say it's unlikely, but it's going to be Owens. I think they're going to give it to Owens, he's going to cash in, and he's going to lose it. Now, that could change if the brand split has 2 titles, and they make him the SmackDown champion, and there's a different Raw champion. That could all change. But, that is my early prediction right now, and, just... It'll probably be Ambrose, but I'm going to call Owens. They've telegraphed Ambrose so hard that I'm going to say Owens. Anyway, the next match of the night is John Cena versus AJ Styles, which could potentially be a match of the year candidate, considering that John Cena can put on his working boots when tasked with the right opponent and the right motivation, and certainly AJ Styles, one of the best in the world. There is a lot that could be said here for this match, and I think it kind of boils down to this. Look at all the other big Cena feuds of the past several years. Look at Rusev. Look at Bray Wyatt. Look at Kevin Owens. They all got one. They all got that one victory against John Cena. Now, the club is banned from ringside. I don't think that's going to really matter either way. I think you could potentially see Finn Balor here for no fucking reason at all. But I think in your first one-on-one match, I think if you actually want to have this feud continue into multiple matches, then you would definitely put over AJ Styles. Now, that being said, the rest of the feud, it's all going to be Cena. Every other victory is going to be Cena, regardless of how this match ends up. It could be a double DQ. It could be a count out. You don't fucking know. I think AJ Styles gets this victory as a clean pinfall, or as clean as you can get on John Cena. And that continues the feud up until the brand split, and then fucking who knows what happens after that. But I don't think he's going to come out on top in the entire feud, because nobody does. Now, I will say this. There is one thing you could do. Even being in the losing proposition of a John Cena feud, there is one thing you could do to solidify his opponent in beating him, regardless of the rest of the feud. If, for the first time in a decade, you tap out John Cena, that solidifies you. That's Hall of Fame class shit right there, because no one's done it since Kurt Angle. And I said, if they wanted to solidify Kevin Owens as the next big fucking deal, he should have tapped out John Cena, and he did not. So, that being said, I think AJ wins. I don't think he taps out Cena, but I'm just saying, if you want to solidify your guy as the next, guy, granted he's like 38, but still, that would solidify him. Or anybody who can tap out Mr. Never Give Up. Anyway, so I'm saying Styles. Main event, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title that he never lost. Again, the outcome here really depends on how the brand split plays out, and that's like a month away, and I think Owens is going to get it here. No one else is going to get him. You're not there, Dean. You aren't there, Dean. He's got it. Kevin Owens. I called it. So, very briefly here. The main event of the evening. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I know a lot of folks are predicting, hey, what if they did a double turn? People want to cheer Rollins and they want to boo Reigns. But I think Vince is stubborn enough that if he hasn't turned Roman Reigns heel at this point, I don't think he will. Therefore, I think Roman Reigns retains and is champion until at least the brand split, and then who fucking knows. I don't think Rollins wins that belt from him here, but hey, anything could happen in the WWE. So, Roman Reigns retains, the fans boo, and the show goes off the air. I don't think we see a cash-in on this show, but hey, again, might happen. So that's it. I'm Attack Slug. This was my Money in the Bank predictions for 2016. My voice is shot. More videos every day, and I will see you next time right here on this channel. And I'm out.